Hello, guys. You are here with Dave Jose. This is Affidavit class video number 10. This is the final video for this class, guys. I want to let you know that you have kicked butt. You have delved into that fire. I'm going to get you into this video. We're going to have to use a screen share. Forgive me, guys, for the time it took. I had to get my system working again. You guys know that I had some issue with my sound for some reason. This is the system that I use to do my editing and everything, so I had to go through and redo some things, make sure the video was clear, make sure you could hear it, make sure it was of the quality that was necessary for you guys to be able to hear everything that's going on, see everything that's going on, and really kick some butt. So I want to thank you guys for your patience. I want to thank you guys for being strong and going after this. I want to thank you guys for all of you who have been sending out affidavits like mad men and women. But we're going to delve deep into this lesson. It's going to take some time, so please forgive me. I can't make this a 5 and 10 minute video. This is for your understanding. I can't just give you straight pictures of what it is that I'm going through and run through it. I have to kind of teach the psychology of it, help you to understand, help you to get your mindset right so you know what's really going on. This will help you to finish off what it is that you started when you came to this affidavit class. So let's get it going. Let's rock. When you finish your affidavit class, let me know. I want a list of everybody who got this finished and kicked butt and went all the way through. I got some special things for you. Don't keep asking about it because it's going to take me a little bit of time. I got to get it together and get it right. So please, please, please don't bug me to death, right? Because we're still in the middle of the fight. We're still in the middle of the this is nothing that you're going to need to move forward in life and get going with affidavits. So don't think, oh, David, I got to go crazy because you didn't give me the extra stuff you were talking about and I need it for my life. You don't need it for your life. I'm just giving it to you as something special, right? But finish the work. Let's get going. Let's start knocking out some affidavits and kicking some butt, right? So let's delve deep into the affidavits. I'm going to show you guys a couple of different affidavits that I used during the time with the election issue. You're going to see the one Josh Barnett, Stacey Burke, the one they used. You're going to see the ones that the people used who were down at the MTech Center who just wanted to write in the things that they suffered through and dealt with. So let's move forward. Let's kick butt. Let's win. Give me some feedback when y'all done. So this is one of the affidavits that we literally used in order to give to people in order for them to be able to print out. Well, we printed them out on 8.5 by 14 paper. And what we did is we brought these to the event that Adele ran, who is friends with Josh Barnett. Adele actually allowed us to be able to set up at the MTech Center, have a table. We brought notary publics because, as you know, the jurat has a requirement for a notary, which is an officer sworn, taking the position in a state where she is able or he is able to swear you in under penalty of perjury, which makes your document go from just being a notice, which we would just tell what we're trying to make them aware of, to an actual affidavit, which is a document sworn under penalty of perjury by someone, written by someone who has first-hand knowledge of the facts. So I'm going to let you guys see the bare bones. You would write your name in there, of course, but it says comes now affiant. Now, the affiant is the man or woman who has first-hand knowledge of the facts. Now, I usually start my affidavits with comes now affiant. I don't say, some people say things that really don't make any sense at all. They just say their own name, I, David, or whatever. Affidavit has an affiant. So we are the person who's coming with the first-hand knowledge of the facts. We are the one who's writing. We're not representing somebody else. We're not, pro se or anything like that. We're not professional persons, right? But comes now affiant, and then I usually leave a space for my name. And then it says one of the people. So what we want to do is declare what our status is in our document. So when we say one of the people, we tell them where in our state constitution they can find out what one of the people we're talking about. And so it tells us in the state constitution, or it shows us where. as seen in the Arizona Declaration of Rights, Article 2, Section 2, Arizona Constitution. So it's going to let them see that we have a place of power. The power that we're dealing with is stated and declared in the Constitution. We're going to let them know that we are coming sui juris. Sui juris simply means someone who is coming with all their rights, right? They're coming with no mental handicaps. They have full understanding of what they're doing and they're able to handle their own affairs. Now, what I'm going to do right here is set the jurisdiction. I'm going to let it be known that I'm working in a court of record, or we're moving under the rules of a court of record. A court of record has a magistrate that is independent, as I showed you guys earlier, of the tribunal. So the one who is bringing the case, right, that's me. I'm prosecuting. I'm bringing this case, and what happens is when I bring it, I'm letting them know what rules I'm going by. When you're in a court of record, since the magistrate is independent of the tribunal, nobody's cheating for the other side. So this isn't an administrative hearing where the judge actually works along with the CPS entity and they're coming together to take something from somebody. This is all out fairness. It moves under the common law and not statutes or codes. When you're in a court of record, it generally has a seal. So we have a seal of the notary on the document. So it's showing that there's actually a sworn in process where nobody's getting away. Because when I come with the affidavit and I make my statements sworn under the penalty of perjury, if they don't rebut these statements, then they're in trouble. They actually are stating or claiming that what I'm saying is true by what's called acquiescence, meaning that they didn't respond. Now, in the next section, after the comma, it says, do make the following claims. Now, I actually use this and I left a place for people to write in between what I write down here and what's up here. So the reason I leave that space is because when you are creating an affidavit, you're going to be giving out your truth. You're going to be possibly notifying some people of some things that happened wrong, and you want them to declare if what you were saying is true or not. If they don't say anything, they are agreeing by acquiescence that what you're saying is true. That means by quietly letting you have your way and saying what you said rather than responding. Or even if they do it, with some reserve, they're a little bit upset, they want to say something, but they can't. Is still considered what's called tacit acquiescence. They're not responding, therefore they agree. Now, I say, do make the following claims. Why do I say that? The reason I say that is because affidavits are here to claim truth. They are here to claim circumstances, not opinions. So in my affidavits, I don't say I believe that the person picked with me because they were angry with me. I say the person pushed me. The person yelled at me. The person took my kid. The person took my dog. This man did this. This man did that. Right? So in between the space, you're going to write out the things that have happened to you, the things that are wrong. You don't want to make it long. You want to get to the point. You don't want to use any emotion. You don't want to use things that are not facts, right? You want to tell what happened. Now, when you get to the bottom, I give a challenge to them and I give some instructions for how they are to deal with the matter that I'm bringing forth. I give some penalties to them. Now, you don't have to do this in every single affidavit, but I do it for a purpose. I do it because it leaves me the ability to be able to handle some things down the road. Now, that part that I'm talking about is the part that deals with like the financial penalty, right? The other stuff has to be there. But the financial penalty, I make it so that I'm able to, if I want to, deal with arbitration later. Now, what I'm going to do is read this to you so you can see how I'm going at them. So I tell you that I state my truth. And what I do is I break down the facts. And what I want to do is give them a chance outside of a courtroom to respond and say that I'm lying. So watch. Any man or woman who denies these claims are true must rebut them under the penalty of perjury in the form of a sworn affidavit. Now, why do I do that? I do that because I don't want them to be able to lie. In many administrative hearings, you got people coming in and they're not swearing before a judge or officer who could take their oath, and they're just saying, I believe you did something wrong. So what happens is they're stealing your stuff because they have people with guns. They have the force of law, but they're not using the law. So what I'm doing is I'm giving them a chance to say that what I'm saying is untrue, but I want them to say it under the penalty of perjury. And I want them to use a sworn affidavit, because immediately if they use a sworn affidavit, they have no immunity because they swore that something happened. And if they're lying, they can go to prison, period. Right? So I want them to rebut me in the form of a sworn affidavit. That makes the stakes higher, because if they know that they could just continue to lie to you and nothing happens, continue to say stuff and nothing happens, nobody's going to go to jail. It doesn't matter to them. They'll say whatever they want to say. And this is why when you email and just make calls or you just talk to your legislature, a lot of times they don't care what you're saying, because for one, there's no record of what you're saying. It's not on paper. So it's not like you own it and you kept it and you could show it to other people. You're just talking to them on the phone, or you're sending a text message or email. They could say they never got it. They could say they don't recall that. But when it's on paper and you can see it clearly, there is no running. Let's look deeper. Any man or woman who decides to suppress this affidavit agrees to pay $30,000, right? Now, why is this important? Because sometimes people think that they want to take your documents and just throw them in the trash. That's fine, as long as you know that I'm charging you $30,000 if you try to hide it, right? And any disputes by any public officials or private actors who are bound by contract to the Arizona Constitution agrees to have these matters heard before an arbitrator of my choice. What is that doing? That's what's called the arbitration clause. It's because I'm putting money in there, it deals with commerce, right? It deals with commerce. I'm not acting in commerce. I'm creating a contract or document now that creates a penalty based on money, which means if they don't follow the terms, they agree to the terms. So I'm creating a new contract with new terms. They already have a contract with me under the Constitution. But since they're not following, I'm saying if you don't agree, send me something showing that you have constitutional authorities to say that that what I'm saying is untrue. But if you can't disagree with what I'm saying, you agree that what I'm saying is true, right? See how simple this is? So then what I do is I say, I can bring it before an arbitrator of my choice. That gives me leeway because I'm telling them rebut, or I can take it before an arbitrator and you agree I can. So then if I want to take it to an arbitrator later, I can choose who it is. We don't have to choose together because they already agreed. Any man or woman denying these claims are true must rebut these claims point by point within 3 days, 72 hours. Now, why do I do that? I do that because I don't want them to play with the matter. I want them to deal with the matter like they have us deal with matters. If they take your kids, take your car, take your dog, you got to deal with it right now. So then they need to deal with it right now. Very simple and easy, right? Now, we're going to let them know if they don't respond what it's going to be perceived as. Failure to respond means that by acquiescence, you agree that all claims are true. So everything I said in the document, if you don't respond to it, you agree that they're all true. Now, there are some other things that I use at times to block courts and stuff like that. And I'm going to create a common law class. People are asking me about common law more and more and more, and they want to know more details. So I'm going to do a common law class for everybody that will break down the common law, why it works, how it functions in a court of record, how I use the common law to block courts. Now, the common law blocking courts is important because I can block the court from dealing with my affidavit by making everything, I remove everything from controversy in the beginning. What I mean is, when people want to go before a judge and argue in front of the judge's face, they're having the controversy before the judge and they're playing it out so the judge can see who's correct. If I do an affidavit and I say, if you don't rebut, you agree, we're removing the controversy which sets all the facts. So that later on, if I go before a court or I go before an arbitrator, the judge or the arbitrator cannot make judgments based off of the other side saying, okay, judge, just do this for me, just do that for me, just kick out this case, please. No, the judge has to make a response based on the facts that are before him that have been solved by affidavit. So if the affidavit proves the facts and nobody rebuts, the court must accept them as true. This is why I do it the way that I do it. Now, verification, you have to have a verification in there and a notary as jurat certificate. Now, the jurat is what goes at the foot of the document. If you see, we're at the bottom. And what happens with the jurat is it is them swearing you in. You see where it says state and county is showing where. It's showing the date on this day, right? On this day, whatever, 2021, before me, so it's telling the month, the name of the public notary, a notary public, personally appeared, and it's going to be the name of the affiant. That's going to be us, who proved to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be the man. If you're a woman, it's going to be woman, whose name is subscribed to the within instrument and acknowledged to me that he executed the same in his authorized capacity, and that by his autographs on this instrument, the man executed the instrument. I certify under penalty of perjury under the lawful laws of Arizona State. I didn't say state of Arizona. I said Arizona State. The reason I say Arizona State is because there's a difference between Arizona State and the state of Arizona. We are putting the jurisdiction in the Republican form of government, not the one that's a corporate entity that's acting outside of the authority of the Constitution. And that the foregoing paragraph is true and correct. See, you're swearing that it is true. Witness my hand and official seal. So the notary is going to sign and seal it. So now you have an officer who has been allowed to do this by the people, putting a seal on there saying that you swore that everything was true. And they're signing as a witness. Now, up under verification, I'll deal with that. I hereby declare, certify, and state, pursuant to the penalties of perjury, excuse me, under the laws of the United States of America. Now, there's another way that people do this, and it says under the laws of the United States. And if you go to this provision here, 28 USC 1746, section 1746, you're going to find that there's two ways that you can do it. I always do without the United States because I'm not in the District of Columbia. The District of Columbia is the United States. Michigan, Arizona, Alabama, Kansas, Kentucky, they are all without the United States. They're outside of the United States. When I say outside of the United States, I mean the District of Columbia, because that's where the United States is. Now watch this. And by the provisions of 28 USC 1746, that all of the above and foregoing representations are true and correct to the best of my knowledge, information, and belief. Executed in, you're going to tell the city, right? So if it's Phoenix, Arizona, Buckeye, Arizona, Goodyear, Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona, you're going to tell where you signed this before the notary. On this, whatever day it is, day of December, January, February, whatever, in the year of our Lord 2021. Okay? You're going to have the autograph of affiant. That's you. Right? So, autograph of affiant right here. You're going to put the way you write your name in cursive, you're signing your autograph. You're going to put it above this line, right? Now, the last thing is there's other things that we can add down here when we're challenging them. Like I said, when I block courts, those are different techniques, but those would be good for a video that deals with what the common law is and the courts of record and how they work. So I'll put that. I'll make a new class for the common law and the courts of record. But what I'm doing is I put in there that no court right, will be able to rehear or re-adjudicate these matters in this section. And the reason I do it here is because I'm letting the court see if these people who I'm dealing with and going against want to try to take it to a court to try to get it kicked out. The court already realized that the person failed to respond to you. You gave them a chance to hear, and they didn't do it. Therefore, the court is barred from getting in the middle. So there is no status. I mean, there is no status that they could use to get out of that. They have no standing because they've already failed to respond. And the jurisdiction that they're trying to bring it from as the court, the jurisdiction has to be given. So when people go and they do a court case, a lot of times at the top of their pleadings, they're going to tell the court, hey, you have jurisdiction under this matter because this person harmed me. Therefore, you have the power to hear the matter and I'm bringing it before you. The courts are given jurisdiction. They are not allowed to just steal it. So the courts are to be independent parties. The courts don't have the power to go out and just make a case on their own. Somebody has to bring something to them telling that they've been harmed or some wrong has happened that they could interfere with and have been vested with the authority to be involved. So guys, there it is. That is my affidavits. That's how we do it. That's how we break it down. This will be live for you. This is the completion of the class. I want to thank you guys for kicking butt and studying hard and learning and taking out the time to learn how to do this. Any of you can make out affidavits. Up at the top, always remember to tell who you are sending the affidavit to. I'll give you an example of that really quickly. Who you are sending the affidavit to so people know what's going on. And so if you look here, I have at the top, I have to or from. You can also make it look like a court case where you have the lines going down the middle, right? And it looks like a court case. You want to add a case number for your records. It's not for them. But a case number allows you, if you're going through arbitration later, I'll give you an example. Here's one right here. This is the one that I sent to Trump to go after, to take the machines and the stuff that he chose not to because of his people who he was working with. But you see it says from to. It has a claimant, right? The claimant will be you. You're going to tell what your claims are, what you're saying is going on. Right here, it says respondents. So we had Arizona legislature, right? Board of Supervisors, Secretary of State. Now, the alignment, of course, you can see went off on this. That's not the biggest deal. You can fix it. But notice of treason, notice of maladministration, demand for president to enforce Executive Order 13848, associated powers, blah, 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 blah. Now, if you wanted to make your own case number, you can put it over here. Let me see if I can click it. You can put it over here in this section. So I'll show you guys how I do it. You just make up literally a case number. Now, this isn't fraud or nothing crazy. It's for your record. So if you go to arbitration later, right, you're going to say, okay, based on my case that I created, because you built the case against them, case number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? In case number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this or that happened, and you're going to give your brief to the arbitrators, and they're going to hear the matter. If you are taking it before a court as evidence, you can submit this as evidence. If you look, I do it exactly the same every time. Notary as jurat, verification, right? This is an affidavit and contract and change of terms. Any man or woman who denies these claims are true must rebut them under penalty of perjury. You'll see I got a little bit more language in here. Watch. Anybody who decides to suppress 30,000. Any man or woman denying, right, must rebut these claims. And you guys can rewind and see this. Point by point within 72 hours. Failure to respond means that by acquiescence, you agree the claims are true. Failing to respond with constitutionally granted authority, which gave you the power to disregard the people's rights, mentioned within this affidavit and contract. I'm telling you it's a contract, right? Means that you agree to have this affidavit used against you as evidence of treason. So see, guys, I don't have to prove fraud. I don't have to prove treason. I just show them that they need to do what I tell them to do as government. And if they don't, it will be evidence of treason, insurrection, and maladministration. Watch this. You further agree that once the 3-day time period is up, the affidavit becomes truth and law. So now what I'm doing is showing you guys how I showed them. Ignore me, and it's going to be accepted as truth and law, and you agree to be bound by it. And that all matters must be considered adjudged. Nobody can judge it again. And that no court has jurisdiction to rehear these matters. And that these witnesses against you shall be considered sufficient for conviction. It takes 2 affidavits against somebody saying they did the same thing wrong for a treason conviction. So the Bible says, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, right? Every word shall be established. So every word of my story is established because I got me sending you an affidavit. I got somebody else sending you an affidavit. We got witnesses by notary public saying we sent it to you and you didn't respond. It is game over. So then I tell them how to fix their issue. And Maricopa County, we sent this to them. We sent it to Trump. We sent it to the legislature. Remedy shall be had by giving the people a full audit of every machine used for voting, all associated software, all evidence of any voting fraud, any evidence of dead voters, and any other voting related items or information that may be necessary to carry out an independent audit. So you guys can see in my affidavit that me and Josh created and somebody else dropped it in too, it shows that these people had to give us the audit we demanded. And the only way they had remedy to not have this used against them is to actually give us the audit. So all the arguing, all the other stuff, they took their time and they did everything they needed to and they did the audit. And it is good because we showed exactly what the law says. We showed exactly what we need to show, and we got the ability to have an audit in Maricopa County. You can see how strong the wording is in this document. Everybody's running around talking about Article 7, Section 7. Me and Josh Barnett taught them that. That's how it got out there. And so the affidavits that we created were not just to teach the government, it was to teach the people at the same time what we were doing. Watch this. I told you guys that we ordered Trump to take the ballots. Watch this. Please take notice that you, President Trump, are hereby ordered to bring justice by using all the necessary powers you have to follow your oath as seen in the United States Constitution below. Article 4, Section 4. Remember, I told y'all, we did not use the Insurrection Act. We ordered Trump to fix this. The United States shall guarantee to every state in the Union a Republican form of government. Every state has to give us a Republican form of government even today, y'all. So this is how we could fight a lot of the stuff. And shall protect each of them against evasion. And on the application of the legislature or the executive, when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence, that's when the president is supposed to step in. But notice what I said. Please take further notice that the people of Arizona hold all political power, and the legislature, governor, and public officers have been involved in maladministration and treasonous acts. Therefore, the people are demanding for you, President Donald Trump, to quash this insurrection, which is coming against the people by the government workers, and the theft of our Republican form of government and invasion by government officials who have abandoned their oaths and are protecting a foreign enemy. Arizona Constitution, Declaration of Rights, Article 2, Section 2 shows that we have all political power, that they're created to take care of our individual rights. Please take further notice that any denial of the protection and maintenance of the people's individual rights is maladministration, treason, and an insurrection. Then we go into locking them in. So as you guys can see, this is some powerful stuff, and I'm showing you guys how to lock them in and the different things that I used. There is nobody else except for Josh Barnett and maybe David Strait or Jonah Bay who understands what I did here. So a lot of people, I seen a video today of somebody telling about my affidavits, and they were sharing and they were showing people, and they saw the Michigan affidavit, and they didn't realize that they were not under the understanding of what I was doing in the affidavit. So they were saying, oh, well, we got a lot of stuff right here. It doesn't have to be this sophisticated. They didn't realize that I was actually using stuff to trap the people so that they couldn't get away. So here it is, guys. This is my affidavit. This is video number 10. It is yours. You got to see from multiple affidavits. You got to see what I used to order Trump. You got to see the simple fact that when I ordered Trump, the legislature was involved right here. The board of supervisors were involved right here. So they know together when I come after them, Trump got the message, Arizona legislature got it, board of supervisors got it, Secretary of State got it. This is why they're all freaking out, because they knew Trump could come get it at any time. This is why I believe the White House staff came out and started saying, holy crap, Trump is trying to use the Insurrection Act. You guys didn't hear me say anything about the Insurrection Act in there. This is the document that Sidney Powell got and General Flynn got. So you guys see it for yourself now. You know the tricks of the trade for Affidavit. It is a beautiful day. I hope you guys start putting them together yourself. Remember, you can write to and from. You can write it out like a court case. Remember to always put your case number in there. If you want to take it to arbitration later, or you're going to end up bringing it before a court, you can use that for your records and remember who you serve with what affidavit, so you can keep good track of it. But that is it, guys. That's how you write out your affidavits.
Hey, Dave, I know you like cars, bro. Here's the Roush. But on a serious tip, I just want to make this video just to let you know that I appreciate everything that you are doing, everything you've done for me personally. One affidavit, one piece of paper. Let me show you why I'm showing you my gratitude. And this is the consultant, by the way. Let me show you what I've done. Your one affidavit accumulated to about 1 year of me filing all this paperwork into the courts. Or else I got a suitcase up here full of papers. I think, is this the affidavit? This is the affidavit. One affidavit got my daughter back. And I know you're, helping everyone and whatnot. And I'm lost for words. I just want to say I appreciate everything you've done. And just keep going for it. I don't care who's doubting you. It's the consultant. When you see my name pop up, I'm always watching your videos, showing support, anything I could do for you, man. I'm here. But I just want to say I thank you, man. And I pray you get your babies back too. You're doing good work. You're doing God's work, Like I said, I'm lost for words. But I just want to show my gratitude to you, man, and just say thank you for getting my daughter back to me. David Jose, you're the man.